Hello farmers, welcome back to Selendra, still harvesting the sorghum over here. I've already bought one trailer load back to the farm and dumped it into the silo, giving us about 41,000 liters in storage. And I think I can finish the rest of these two fields and put it all into the trailer. Will we hit 50,000? I'm not too sure if it will or we will not. Won't find out until the end. But while I was emptying the harvester, and this does take a little while to empty, I was checking on the field that we're in and the one that we're harvesting also right in front of us. These two fields do not require lime, but of course, as we know, the bigger field to our left does. And I think what we're going to do is to try to get some fields in certain sequences. We're going to do lime in that field this fall, and this field just to our left in lime as well. The one to our left doesn't really need it, but I don't want all the fields to require lime in the same year, just to cut back on how much work I have to do after harvest. So yeah, we're gonna get those two fields kind of in the same sequence, and then next year we'll do the two fields that we're currently harvesting. Everything else is going rather well, I do believe. Money's gone up a little bit because I got the speed up to ×5, so every hour, which we're about ready to go. Yeah, we just got about $400 as I'm speaking. That's from the wind turbine and probably selling some strawberries from the greenhouse. Going to need that money here very shortly because we're going to come back here with the mulcher, spread down lime and fertilizer in these fields. Kind of get them all set the same day we got them harvested. And that'll free up our time the rest of the winter, or fall and winter, to take care of our grass fields to make hay. And also, I think, I want to make firewood. I thought about getting to it this episode, but I think I'm just going to focus on the fields back here today, just to get it all done, and that way I don't have to worry about it the rest of the season. Part of me wants to cut down the trees in between the field, but mostly I think the other part of me is saying, no, leave them there. That's what gives the fields back here the character. I don't want to get rid of the trees back here. But every time I work back here, the little part of me says, well, if you get rid of them, you can make it a little bit easier. And no, I won't be merging all the fields together. It's tempting to do so, but I think having the fields as individual fields looks better. I mean, yeah, I could get a little bit more crop out of it back here if I were to merge it all into one field. But I really would like to, at some point, get a stable amount of food for the animals, and at some point be able not to have to plant all sorghum back here. But we have to do what we have to do. We'll adjust as we go along. And I did get all the harvesting done without having to fill the harvester. But on the way back to the farm, I think I'll swing by and dump fuel into it. That way it's all set to go next season. In real life, I don't think I would put fuel into a vehicle and then have it sit for a full year, but we don't have to worry about our fuel going bad. So we'll just top it off, and that way next year it's ready to go. I should be able to fit the rest of the crop into the harvester. Bring the Fiat on back first, and we can dump the sorghum in there. So yeah, we're going to be shy of 50,000 liters. I think last year we were just shy of 40,000, so not too bad. May have to buy more fields for more sorghum, but it's the way it's got to be. It'll be the way it is. Well, let's go ahead and dump this into our trailer. Yeah, so if we have to buy more fields, I was looking at this earlier. I didn't notice I was doing this, but we pretty much bought all the fields on the western side of the map, basically is what we've done. But yeah, I could buy fields like 11 and 12 to give us more sorghum right there. Or possibly buy 7, 8, 9 and merge those together as well. But I didn't want to buy all the land on this map, but I may have to. Didn't know horses wouldn't eat that much, along with the chickens. There we go. That's ready to go back to the farm on my next trip. Let's go get all this crop into the silo. We'll drop off the trailer. We'll pick up the John Deere mower. We'll convert that over to a mulcher. We'll get the field in front of us, and that field there mulched. Then we can grab the Deutz, bring that on down here, put some lime into it. No, sorry, fertilizer. We got to fertilize the fields first. Then we'll put lime down. I feel like we're going to be about 1,000 liters shy of 50. And we had really good fields this year. They were like all 100%. Oh, no, we might actually... Oh, 49,500. So, yeah. Almost had it. But actually, wait, I may have fed the horses a little bit of sorghum at one point. So maybe we did harvest over 50,000 liters. I can't remember last episode if I fed the horses sorghum or not. Let's go ahead and pop our trailer away. Part of me has thought about getting rid of this silage pit, but it fits our trailer so well. Yeah, I thought about selling this a couple of times and putting a shed back here, but who knows, maybe someday I will go ahead and get into doing more silage. Instead of wrapping it, we can just put it in there and compact it. Let's bring this over here, convert this over to a mulcher. Oops. Run into the silo with a weight. That's always a good thing to do, I guess. Customize. Mulcher, yes. And it's not going to take us long to mulch. Now, of course, all the fields need to be mulched, but I'm trying to do this in a certain sequence so I can fertilize the fields, and that way when I go to plant them next season, there'll be the second stage of fertilization down, and then I don't have to worry about the fields until harvest time again. At 14 miles an hour, we're going to get these fields done rather quickly. Now, the field that we're currently in doesn't really require lime, but like I said, I'm just trying to get the fields in a certain sequence. The only part of this field that actually requires lime is kind of like right down the center, where I merge the two fields together. Yeah, this part of the field here, I probably should just come over here in landscaping mode and just change that over to grass. It's kind of narrow, kind of steep, hard to get implements into there, hard to harvest it. But if I can get these fields done in this month, that'd be great, because that way the rest of the fall I can focus on other things like making some firewood and sell some of that. I would like to, once those spruce trees behind the sawmill, once they reach full length, I would like to just start to cut down, I don't want to say all of them, but cut down a whole bunch so I can really stockpile in the sawmill, not have to worry about it month by month, the way I'm currently doing it. Although someone did some math, I guess, on the amount of trees that we got and the amount of liters of trees that we should have, and we should have plenty enough to last us quite a while. But I would like to plant some still, just to be prepared. And as I said, we're going to be planting some stone pine down. So apparently by the 2 charts that I saw, stone pine is going to give us the more liters for our money. Now getting this John Deere definitely helped us out here on the farm for a couple of reasons. One, we upgraded our mower. So we got like double the size of a mower, and also being a 2-in-1 tool, we had to spend about 18 grand on getting ourselves a mulcher to get us the extra 2% on the fields that we take care of. And just like that, the mulching is done, at least in these 2 fields. But we're going to get them all done this month. Just the fields back here. I'm not too concerned about the oat, wheat, and sorghum field on the other side yet. Probably do that next month. I do have to merge the wheat and sorghum field together. And now with these 2 mulched, I can go ahead and put the fertilizer down. Let's go ahead and just park this right here. Alright, let's grab the harvester, bring that back to the farm, but on the way back, top it off with fuel. Let's try to be a little bit careful going through here. With the bumps and the trees and everything, don't want to be getting out of control and running into things, which I'm sure I probably will run into something on the way back. Can I get in here with a header? I think I've done it before, right? Kind of. We kind of can get through here. Am I close enough? There we go. Now we're topping it off. Best bet is probably to back out of here. But I do see, though, is another collectible, I think. Is that a piece of cheese? Actually, 4 more of those. Okay. I actually made a profit by coming to the gas station. $4.43 for the fuel and $1,000 for the piece of cheese. Around the light pole, the trash can, the little fence, and we are through. Go back, we'll give this a wash, we'll even repair it because repair bills should not be too much. I might actually buy this grass field here when I have enough money, not to keep the field, but just so I can do landscaping on the road and get rid of the bumps and then resell the field on back. Just own it for a quick second just so I can repair the field. That's all I really want to do. Not the field, but the road itself. Now let's do a quick repair on the combine and header. So $345 for the combine, and the header is $65. I think a pressure washer would do a better job cleaning up our equipment, but this is what we got. So this is what we'll use. And of course our header as well. Starting to show some wear on it. All the paint's starting to come off. Now I do like how they changed how the paint does wear in 22 to where you know, the paint, you can see the paint wearing off on the header. But the reason why it doesn't come off on the combine is because, well, that's probably mostly like fiberglass up there. All right, park our combine back in here. Put the header down. Alright, now we gotta grab the doits. I do have some lime here. How much lime is that? It's not a whole lot. But the first job I am going to be doing is fertilizing the fields back there. And I'm guessing I got fertilizer in here. Well, what we'll do is we'll go by the store and we'll top this off with fertilizer first. Now, probably if I want to buy more fields, which it may look like I may have to, I'll buy these two up here. Because I go buy these fields all the time anyways, so I feel like I'm going through some other farmer's land. So I'll probably just buy those two. And they'll be the easiest ones to convert to one another. And I wouldn't put sorghum in them. I'd probably go ahead and plant wheat to feed to the chickens. And let's just go ahead and top off on fertilizer. Be making many trips to the store here in the next few minutes. Between the fertilizer and the lime, I will go back to the farm when I'm done fertilizing here to drop off the fertilizer that we have. I'll pick up the lime that's back at the farm and then throw lime down these two fields. I gotta get used to the working width here. It's not 42 meters, but it's really good working width. I remember the first time I was back here with the doits and fertilizing the fields, before I upgraded the engine, had like a 50 horse in it, and this little hill right here, I could not get up at all. I had to go around the other way to get up here. You can see it still struggles even with 82 horsepower. I've kind of thought about possibly, like I said, getting another tractor. I don't know if I want to trade in the doits. I'd rather not. But just get another, when I say high-powered tractor, our limit here is 200 horsepower and below. Just to help us out a little bit around the farm. It's going to be further on down the road. I'd rather wait until our loan gets below $1 million, which may not be next year because we're going to spend $100 grand of the profits that we get next year putting down the training facility. Or I just may continue out the whole series with just the two tractors that we got. Have to see how it plays out. Now the good news is the amount of fertilizer I've used so far is not too much, which is a good thing. So once again, the reason why I'm doing it in the sequence that I'm doing the fields back here is with base game farming, the fields need 2 stages of fertilization to get a really good crop. Now, you cannot. So, like, once I get done fertilizing this field, if I were to come in here and replant the field, it's not going to get a second stage of fertilization. You got to change the state of the field after you fertilize it to something else before you can fertilize it again. You just can't go around and fertilize it twice in a row. It doesn't work out. It doesn't really work that way. So by putting fertilizer down first in these 2 fields, and then when I put lime down, that will change the state of the field. So when I go to plant it next year, I'll be able to put the second stage in as we plant, so that's all set. And that is why I did not mulch the other 2 fields first, because I'm not putting lime in those fields. So I'll fertilize those 2 fields first, and then when I mulch it, it'll change the state of the field. So I plant the next spring, it'll get the second stage. Simple as that. Just realized though, I always use the Deutz to put down the fertilizer and the lime. Probably doing it on an open cab tractor is not the wisest thing to do. I guess depending on which way the wind's blowing, all the dust you might be throwing out in the air and inhaling fertilizer and lime particles, not good for you. Can I get this done in one pass? Probably not. Well, it's good enough. We have a couple spots. Yeah, I'll have to get those. There we go. So I'm hoping I can get this field done without having to refill. I definitely am going to have to refill to get the other 2 fields done. But good thing is, it's not going to cost us that much money on fertilizer. And then we'll get these fields, these 2 fields anyways, with lime. Well, now comes the fun part. It's going to be kind of hard for me to see where I have fertilized, even by the aerial view that I have here. I can kind of make it out, so I'll have to pretty much guesstimate when I go back around. It's the only difficult part about sorghum. I think cotton would be another crop that does the same thing, where the stalks stay up, so it's kind of hard to see the ground change to a darker color. I can just barely make it out, but then again, that's because I'm just constantly staring at it. But then again, the first pass is kind of easy. You just got to go around the headland. But we'll see how I do and get along. But the good thing is you probably are aware of, is I did not have to fill up with fertilizer yet. That's going to be coming here soon. But it's not too expensive, because we're only grabbing 400 liters at a time. Yeah, went to get fertilizer, came back, and now I really can't tell where I've been and where I haven't been. I think I was lying to myself earlier when I said, oh yeah, I can kind of see it. So, yeah, I'm kind of guessing here. We'll check out the stats here in just a moment. Actually, well, yeah, I'm not going to say I can or can't see it. I think I can, but yeah, we'll see how I do in just a moment. But at least we'll get these fields back here fertilized. They're ready to go. Just got to mulch these 2 fields. And get lime on the other 2. Alright, the only way to really tell is go to this page here. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. Alright, 1 more field to go. Then I'll have to head back to the farm, drop off this fertilizer. We'll pick up the lime. Top off at the store, because we're going to go through quite a bit of lime. So in about a minute or 2, should be done. And we'll double check to see if I did just as good in this field as I did the other one. It's a little hypnotizing just staring down from an aerial view trying to see where you fertilized. I'm thinking I missed a couple of areas on this one. Alright, let's have a look. Oh, just a little strip right there, kind of like right in front of us, so not too bad. Probably going to waste more in fertilizer than I need to here, but we'll try to cover that one up. It's somewhere there, right? Yep, we got it. We got it. Alright, back to the farm. I'll dump off this fertilizer in the yard, pick up that lime, top off at the store. We'll come back and get started on these fields. It's going to be a few trips back and forth to the store to top off with lime now and then. But after we get those 2 fields lime, they should be good for another 3 harvests before they require lime once again. Yep, not going to get too far on a full load of lime on this, but then again, that is to be expected. Well, I got that much done, so let's see. I don't know, might be about 10 trips back and forth to the store, topping off with lime. A bigger spreader, of course, would work wonders, but then the working width would be so wide, I get the job done in like one pass, because that would be like a 42 meter wide working width. So I really don't have a problem going back and forth to the store because it's so close. And it just feels a little bit better when I load up with lime as well on a small container, because it only costs 80 bucks. So either way, though, yeah, in the long run, you're still using the same amount of lime, whether you're using a big spreader or a small spreader. So yeah, just small things like that, though. If it makes you feel good, then that's all that matters. Alright, so I'm going to continue on spreading lime here. You can see it's probably going to take me, like I said, a few trips back and forth to the store. At least by spreading lime, I can pretty much easily see where I've been and haven't been. Yeah, this field here did not really need it. I just don't want all the fields require lime the same year, because that would just be a lot of work at one time. So alright, I'm going to continue here. And yeah, I'm hoping I can get this done. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so hopefully I can get this done before 5 o'clock. That'd be good, because, you know, I want to get some more work done today, like mulching the rest of the fields. Not taking as long as I thought. I just got one more trip to make here, and then one more pass on the field, and then I can get to mulching the other 2 fields. And ta-da! The back fields will be all set. And I'm actually kind of surprised, but like I said, I've always played on bigger maps, so every time when it comes to like fertilizing, liming fields, I'm expecting like thousands of dollars of material needed to get the fields done. And we've been pretty much staying in the $15,000 to $16,000 range. Of course, as every hour passes, we're making some slight income from the greenhouses and the windmill. But one more pass should do it. And just to think, when I woke up in the morning of August, these fields had all sorghum in it, ready to be harvested, and by the end of the month, the fields are all harvested and set to go for next year. And let's go ahead and grab the Fiat, and I'll start mulching the other 2 fields. And of course, with this mulcher, as you saw earlier, it does not take too long. So by getting these fields done this month, that frees up the month of September to do some other things. And mainly, I think working on the sawmill or making firewood is what we'll be doing. I probably got to get a couple trees into the mill. But I think mostly we'll be getting to do some firewood. Only costs $2,000 to lease the wood splitter. And we'll find some good trees. We'll be using the telehandler to bring the logs over to the wood splitter. And if need be, then I can also use it to load them into the wood splitter. Probably take me a few tries to get used to that piece of equipment once again. When it was making firewood, we made a good profit off the 2 trees. We lost a lot of it on those 2 trees trying to make firewood because I was trying to split it into 6 pieces, I think. I think it was 6. And I got told, no, just split it into 2s. Because if you don't have enough liters in the chunk of wood that you're cutting, the pieces will just disappear. I'm like, oh, okay. They told me just do it in 2s and we should be okay that way. Actually feels kind of good to get these fields all set in one day. That way we can kind of just forget about them until next spring. And then when next spring comes, we'll see how we're doing on feed for the animals. And if we're holding it pretty good on the sorghum, then maybe, I mean, we got to be doing really good on it, because if I want to switch one of these fields over to wheat or whatever, that takes away the amount of harvest that we had for this year. But I'm thinking we're probably going to end up buying those 2 fields I pointed out earlier over by the farmyard. So next year, I don't see that much money coming off the loan. $100,000 will be put into the training facility, and of course some money we put into fields. Well, actually, no, we can take off some money, because with the fabric alone, I think we brought in like 160 grand. So even we spent 100,000 on the training facility, that leaves another 60 grand from the fabric. And those 2 pieces of land can't be 60 grand. And then, of course, we'll have the planks to sell. So, yeah, some money will come off. I don't think we'll get below $1 million on the loan. Actually, I already forgot. What do I owe, like, just 1.1? Wait, what do I owe on the loan? It's a possibility we get the loan down to maybe $1 million. Have to see how it goes. Oh yeah, no, I can't forget, we got all that silage to sell this year, so. Oh yeah, but I was planning on upgrading the spinnery, wasn't I? Yep. I think I was planning on upgrading the spinnery because the spinnery is having a hard time keeping up with the wool now from the sheep. And of course, I'd rather make fabric than sell the wool as is. And the sooner I get that upgraded, the more fabric we'll have and get our money back on it. This mulcher slash mower goes at a pretty good pace at 14 miles an hour. So September we'll be doing some woodworking. October we'll be cutting the grass and making hay. And then we're pretty much all set for just breezing through the winter, other than selling the silage. And then next thing, before you know it, we're back into springtime, and it's time to replant and continue on. And just about as the 5 o'clock hour rolls in here, I should be done with these 2 fields. Get done at a reasonable hour today. Probably should do it now while I'm thinking about it. Let me just double check on the critters on the farm. The sheep need some grass. Chickens are fine. And the horses are fine as well. But I have to go over and take care of the sheep. Yeah, I'm glad I'm making some hay, because I didn't actually expect to go through as much as we have this year. So definitely got to make hay the next cut, no doubt about it. And maybe the first cut next year might be hay as well. But we'll take it as we come to it. So I'm going to finish this up here in a couple of seconds. And then I'm going to go over and top off the sheep so I don't forget about them. And then, next episode I'll see you in September, where we'll be cutting down a few trees to the sawmill, and then the rest of the trees we cut down we'll be making into firewood. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Selendra, but until then, have a good one.